Yeah, we went through an extensive interview process for that position and the other positions that we're looking to fill. That's such an important piece to make sure. Like it's such a good opportunity to sit and talk about coaching and kind of hear other people's thoughts. I picked Kevin out of the people that we interviewed because thought he was the best man for the job. First and foremost. And also, I think that when you look at a good organizations, in college football, professional football, continuity is very, very important. And we were able to have a guy in house that is so ready to do the job that he's going to be asked to do. And we were able to keep continuity for Jalen. We're able to keep continuity for the receivers, AJ and Devontae, the offensive line, the offensive staff. There's a lot to that. And so, and again, as I study great teams and great organizations, when they have guys that they know they can promote from within that are ready to do the job, they do that. And Kevin is so ready to do that. Excited for his opportunity. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I think Kellen just does a really good job of taking everybody's input and then figuring out what you have to do. There's a lot of different areas where you're getting input, and because it's a collaborative thing. But at the end of the day, Kellen had to make the decisions of what was best for the team, and I thought his collaboration of leading with everybody and valuing everybody's opinion, but also ultimately making the tough decisions that he had to make was outstanding. And I think that really stood out with everything. Yeah, that's a good question, Jeff. I think I've seen some of the stuff like, well, about what that it's an automatic play or that it's not we work really, I almost feel a little insulted because we work so hard at that play. The amount of things that we've looked into how to coach that play, the fundamentals, there's 1,000 plays out there, but it comes down to how you teach the fundamentals and how the players go through and do with the fundamentals. I can't tell you how many times we practice the snap, we practice the play, because it's not a play that it's easy to practice. There's different ways we figured out how to practice it. The complements that come off of it that can create explosive plays. We saw it in big time games this year, and the fact that it's an automatic thing, that we work really, really hard, and our guys are talented at this play, and so it's a little insulting to say it's just we're good at it, so it's automatic. We work really hard at it, and you see it throughout the league. I mean, we saw it in the championship games that a team failed at it and ultimately didn't end up winning the game because of it. I watch every week. I watch every first and goal red zone fail every single time, and sometimes that first and goal starts at the 1, and you see the team not be able to get in because they're not able to do that. And so, I think that it's a skill that our team has because of the players that we have, the way the coaches coach it. There's just so much time put into it. The fact that it's a successful play for the Eagles and people want to take that away, I think is a little unfair. And like I said, well, you can't pull. You can't pull. I see. We look at all the plays throughout the NFL that happen. One of my guys picks up all the plays because we teach this. When a ball carrier is in a pile, on a run, Saquon's in a pile on a run, the offensive line gets behind them and pushes them. Now, you can't sprint behind them and crush the pile. You can't pull there. But that's something that we see throughout, and, we've had some success on that as well. The defense, when the defense is there, no one's going to tell the defense to stop pushing hey, one guy's enough. You can't add anybody else into it. So I think it's just again, obviously I'm protective of it because we've had success with it. But, again, I think that the competition committee will do a good job of looking at everything. But I do feel that way a little bit, just like a little bit insulting in that sense of that, because the guys work hard at it. We work hard at it, and you know what? It wasn't 100% for us this year. We missed on some 2-point conversions from the one. We missed them on some third downs. We missed on some fourth downs. I think we were in the 80% of what we were, and just because it's a successful play for us doesn't mean that it should go away. Yeah, I just think it's an important part of the process. Same reason you do exit interviews at the end of the year with all your players and all your coaches. You get a lot of information of what you can do better. Well, it's the same thing here. It's an important part of the process to get to know the players and to spend some time with the players in the interviews. It's an important part of the process to watch them work out. And so, that's why, again, you try to go through the steps, like, of what you want to do to get yourself ready for the following year. And this is a really important part of the draft process and of going through the steps to get better. Yeah, I think I think when you look at that, because we've looked into that too, there wasn't a lot of injuries there. I think that's a little made up, to be honest. Now the numbers will tell the truth, but I don't think there was many injuries with it this year. I can't remember one injury we had on that play, and we ran it more than everybody else. And so, yeah, the injury numbers, the league will have that, and the injury numbers will come out on that. And I'm all for player safety and for that, but I don't think that play. I think that's just something that was said, but I don't think the numbers on that play suggest that. But you guys can look into that. Yeah, just different things pop up. Day in, day out, and you have to be ready to handle those things. I have no doubt in my mind, though, Kellen will do a great job and be ready for the challenge. I tried. Maybe. I don't know. You'll have to ask him. Yeah, Parks, we're excited to add Parks. Little bit, we'll get you guys that information when the time is right. But just a phenomenal football coach that's obviously worked himself up in a very short amount of time because of his phenomenal work ethic, his football IQ, his ability to teach players fundamentals, and his ability to help with schemes. And he's been with a lot of different, he obviously started with us in Indianapolis, obviously went with Frank to Carolina, and then was able to add to the Dolphins this year and be around a great mind like Mike McDaniel and his staff. So, and he's just so hungry to continue to get better. And so really excited about adding him to that staff and the things that he'll bring to our offense and to our scheme and to our ability to coach the players. Yeah, when you're building a tight end room, it's kind of similar to when you're building a wide receiver room, and you look at it like a basketball team. You don't want all point guards, You want a point guard, you want a shooting guard, you want a forward, you want a center, you want a small, all those different things because of all the roles that you're asking them to do. It doesn't have to be one person does every role. Hey, I need a guy to be able to do this. I need a guy to be able to hold the edge here in blocking or run this route or run that route. And so, I look at it the same way that when you're do they give as a group as a whole in the tight end room, do they provide everything you need for that? And so that's what you look at when you're looking at these guys. What roles can they specifically do, and can they help your offense with? Yeah, I think, again, I can't say enough about how important continuity is for all parties involved. But, you know, going out and talking to other coaches, meeting with other coaching staffs, studying the league, having different projects, those are all going to be a really important part of this next, the off season. But also, bringing in a guy like Parks that does have familiarity and does have some of that continuity with us, but also has new, fresh ideas. Or, we'll have a couple other positions that we'll fill and doing that in that sense as well. But I know that we have a curious and hungry group of, we'll stay on offense. You asked me about offense, of coaches that constantly want to get better. So, even through the interview process, you write things down and you're like, yeah, I'd like to look into that. And I can't tell you how many things we'd start and said, hey, let's study this. Hey, let's study that. Oh, this could be good for us. And you do the same thing throughout the year, Zach. Like, you're playing, you're playing the Rams and you're watching their offense. You're like, my goodness, there's so many good things that they do. The Packers, the Rams, you look at all those teams and you're like, let's really study this year. And so I have notes upon notes this year of all the things that we want to look at and want to study. Now, can you do all of them? No, but you can really dive into that at this particular point to continue to evolve your offense, and that will be a big part of this offseason. Yeah, in our weekly media in Philadelphia, I know you weren't part of that. They kind of asked me that as far as, well, he had a lot of carries. How are you going to make sure he gets through? We do everything we can do to win each and every game. And a lot of times this year, that meant Saquon carrying it 20, 25 times. And that also is the case of what kind of game you're in, right? If you're in a game where you're in a 4-minute game, you're going to keep pounding the ball to run the clock through and still be aggressive. But you handle and the maintenance of it, and Saquon handles the maintenance of it throughout the week. Saquon had a couple more carries and a little bit more of a load this game. All right, how are we going to manage them throughout the week? Well, that's going to be the same thing through OTAs. That's going to be the same thing through training camp, and that'll be the same thing we go through it. And when we get to game one, we're going to do everything we can do to win that game. And if that's him carrying it 20 times, then he'll do that. If it's going to be he carries it one time, we'll do that too. It probably won't be one. We're going to give it to him more than that. But we'll do that as well. And so, there's so many good people in our organization that help with that process of not only with Saquon, but with our entire team of making sure that they have the right workload week in, week out to be ready to play on Sundays. And then all the credit goes to the player themselves, because Saquon works incredibly hard at his body to make sure that he is the right, in the right weight, the right nutrition, all those different things, so he can withstand an entire year. Yeah, anytime. I think I've seen a couple videos of our players being able to go back to their hometown after winning. I saw Slay had a great moment at his hometown. I think Coop was talking at Iowa the other day. I saw something with Jahan Dotson there where he was able to go there. Now, this is for all those guys, and for myself at Jamestown, I include myself into that. There's a lot of people that help get you to the spot that you're in when you're able to win it at the end of the year, or just be in the NFL in general. And so to see that the town, is so excited for you, or my parents see somebody at church and like, oh, this person asked you about you, or that person asked about you. That's an awesome thing, because it takes all those people, the town and the school that you went to, make you who you are today as part of what shaped you who you are today. The high times that you had there, the low times that you have there, shape you. And I'm definitely a product of Jamestown, New York. And I'm really proud of that, and really thankful for all the people, coaches, teachers, friends, parents, family, everything that have helped shape me who I am today.